Biggest game of the year in the SoCon, and wouldn't you know it, ETSU is without their leading scorer. Hi everybody, I'm Marky, Billson. I guess it's not official, but LeDarrius Brewer, averaging neighborhood of 16 points this year for the Buccaneers, has been listed as doubtful because he got the COVID-19 virus back on January the 4th. Actually tested positive for it, to be technical about it. But yeah, Bucs without their best player for a showdown for first place in the Southern Conference on Saturday at 4 p.m. in Greenville against Furman. In all honesty, this is one that the Buccaneers probably lose. Not only do they not have Brewer, but they're 10-point underdogs to the Paladins, both teams undefeated in the Southern Conference. So the game is for first place. It's the defending champion of the conference in men's basketball, ETSU, against the favorite to win the conference this year, the Furman Paladins. Now, breaking down this game and keys to victory for ETSU, they cannot commit turnovers. That's an easy thing to say, isn't it? But you have to understand that Furman has won their last two games by forcing a combined 39 turnovers and scoring 54 points combined in against those teams that they've defeated off the turnovers. Okay, so 54 points off the turnovers in a 6-point victory against Citadel on Wednesday, and before that a 3-point victory against Mercer. The Mercer game was by an 83-80 final for Furman, and 94-88 is the tally that the Paladins defeated the Bulldogs by back on Wednesday. And a player to really watch is a guy out of Cleveland, Ohio, Mike Bothwell. He's a junior guard for the Furman Paladins, leading the team in scoring, but also steals, and he's got 10 of them the last two games. So this 18-point-a-game scorer, Bothwell, that's the player that ETSU has to stop and basically not give the ball to. Now, that's why I think that replacing Brewer is not necessarily the big fear here for head coach Jason Shea. It's finding the right point guard. First 8 games of the year, he starts David Sloan, the transfer from Kansas State. Sloan, well, the Buccaneers are sluggish. They're 4-4 after 8 games with 2 victories against D2 opponents. So really, they're 2-6 against D1. Then comes the Southern Conference. Then comes 2 pretty fair-to-middling teams in Western Carolina and UNCG. 2 games Buccaneers could have easily lost, and instead they win the games, and they win them rather handily, although the Bucs did struggle with the Catamounts. Western Carolina, for some reason you're not familiar with that, in the first half of the first game. That was back, 2 weeks ago or so, more than 2 weeks ago. So basically what it comes down to when you're looking at a team that lives off of steals and turnovers is point guard play. Now, Sloan has a better turnover to assist ratio than Cyril Smith Jr., who's been the point guard the last 2 games, and the Buccaneers have looked great, but Smith is not necessarily your pass-the-ball first player. Smith is more or less the shoot-the-ball first player, and that generally doesn't work well as a point guard because the point guard is supposed to make the players around him better. Well, maybe he did that against both Western Carolina and UNCG because ETSU won both of those games. But it's a big decision on who to play. Do you play the guy with a turnover-assist ratio that favors the turnovers in Smith, or do you play the guy whose turnover-to-assist ratio favors the assists in Sloan, even though the team didn't win that much when they played Sloan? Maybe he's the better point guard. Then again, if you look at turnovers per game, well, yeah, that one is going to go to Sloan. So that, I think, is the big deal for ETSU. Do they play at point guard? And if Sloan is not the choice at point guard against the Paladins, can he ever get his job back? Probably not. I think Smith does have more upside potential. He's shown a little bit better from the long range, plus he comes from Maryland, plus ETSU has played better with him in the lineup than they have Sloan, plain and simple. So we'll see what happens there. But a big game, if the turnovers do not occur from the point guard position or from the team itself, then ETSU may have a chance to go 3-0 on the Southern Conference season and win at Furman for only the second time since rejoining the Southern Conference. They've dropped 5 of their 6 to the Furman Paladins. Paladins are 9-3, Bucs are 6-4. One last thought, though. Jason Shea, new head coach of ETSU, hey, you'd let us know that Brewer is gonna be out for the game in all likelihood. He's the player that got the Chinese virus. I really don't see what the big deal is of saying Chinese virus, but nevertheless, I think that's the more proper term, to tell you the truth. Why did it take you so long to tell us he was the player that was out? What's the game there? Why would you not tell us that? For one thing, if you do make it public, it makes it just a little bit more likely that Brewer is going to stay quarantined. I'm not suggesting that he would absolutely is this ruckus hellion that says, to hell with it, I want to go out and I don't care who I make sick. I'm not saying that's LeDarrius Brewer. I've never met the man. I can't judge his character, and my guess is that he's probably not that sort of a person. But if you do publicly say, yeah, it's Brewer, there's less likelihood that he'll be that guy than if you keep it all a big secret. And what is the big secret? Do you not know who the player is? It's what it looks like. Then it makes it look like you don't know what's going on with your team. I guess there's the slightest amount of chance that he could play against the Paladins. But, yeah, this one is really odd. You'll let us know the day before the game, but you won't let us know the time of occurrence. That's not good for branding, and it's really patronizing to both the fans and the media. That's something that Jason Shea, who used to work in media relations back at Mercyhurst a generation ago, should know better than. It's time to be transparent, Jason Shea. Folks, I'm Marky Billson. If you want to hear the straight skinny on the ETSU Buccaneers, and it's not afraid to be critical when necessary, I'm the guy. Follow me on Medium. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hit the bell. You know what to do. So until next time, I'm Marky Billson.